How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews, back with another review. A little bit of crowler time, a little bit of leftover time. A little tip, kids. If you throw a big beer party and a ton of people show up, they leave a lot of beer behind. And that's what this is. And this is Prison City Brewing. It is their Mass Riot. Yeah, this is the beer that kind of put these guys on a map. I've never had this beer. I've been to Prison City a couple of times. Every time I've gone there, they haven't had this beer. I've had variations of this. Like, I think it was like their New England Riot or Vermont Riot or something. I've had a couple different versions of this, but not this base one. I forget what online blog or article kind of that it was Pace Magazine or whatever ranked all the best IPAs a couple years ago, and this was the winner. And I've been wanting to give it a whirl for a while. And Joe from the Beer Patrol, I'm sure you all know him. If you don't, go check him out and subscribe. Awesome dude, one of my favorite beer reviews, if not my favorite in the game. He brought this up for everybody to share. He left it behind. Victor goes to spoils, if my name was Victor. Anyway, this is a 6.8% IPA. Let's see what this sucker has. Okay. Yeah, I've been to Prison City a couple times. Went there once. They didn't have it. Just had a couple beers. Quick bite to eat, and I was out. Second time I was up there was my buddy George. Went there, and it was about 953,639 degrees out. And it was, like, disgusting level hot. So what did I do? I got 2 beers and a bacon flight. You know, because that's what you do when it's, like, oppressively hot out. It was, like, so disgusting it was that hot. But anyway, I enjoyed myself both times. As far as that goes, I mean, she looks the part of New School Haze. She doesn't have that super crazy, dense, turbid butternut squash turkey gravy thing going on, but she's got a nice soft haze to her, index finger of a nice, rich kind of head to her, nice creaminess. So she's off to a good start. Let's see if we can get a nose. Yeah, I mean, she smells like an old school, new school hazy. She has those big, vibrant citrus vibes where you're getting a nice, sweet, kind of like, it's not necessarily orange juice, but it's not necessarily like tang. It's somewhere floating in between. A little bit of Sunny D, a little bit of Orangina vibes kind of floating around in there. And that's really it. I mean, there is a little bit of soft tropical fruit in there, a little bit of kiwi, maybe even a little bit of stone fruit, but it's citrus, and it's very kind of, not artificial, but a little bit added sweetener kind of citrus going on in there. I'm not really getting that much as far as a bittering component outside, a little bit of soft little pops of green here and there, but she smells really pretty. And when I say old school, new school, she doesn't smell like that new super hazy. It's like somewhere in between where Heady is and where Trillium is, like kind of floating in that middle ground there. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Let's dive in. Cheers. Yeah, it's delicious. It does have a little bit of that kind of crystallized candy-like kind of sweetness to her. This has a date of 7/18/19. Oh, so it's not that old. I was going to be like, okay, I wonder if this has a little bit of age on it. But he got this filled on his way down to visit me, so it's less than a week old. Actually, it's a week old. It's probably just about a week old on the nose. But she's tasty. She has that nice, sweet citrus component that we were talking about at the beginning. Getting those little bit, again, sweet kind of kiwi, kind of tropical fruits, a little bit of stone fruit, but it's really citrus driving down. It comes off a little bit kind of like crystallized sweet, a little dextrosy, a little residual sweetness. Not too bad though. It's not overly sweet. It does have a little bit of bittering component on it too, a little bit of rindiness. So it doesn't just lean heavily sweet on sweet on sweet without any bitterness. Sure, it's more sweet than bitter, but it has that going on for it, and it's quite nice. It finishes dry. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. That nice little bit of dryness in there makes you want to go back for a little bit more. And she's a pleasure to drink. The mouth feels quite nice. It's not super turbid, super thick, so over the top, but at the same time, she's just a tasty beverage, man. She's really good. I can see why this would actually rank up there and be one of the best, or one of the best kind of IPAs today or a couple of years ago. I really dig it. And I've actually had, like I said, I had a couple variants of this. And a word on the street from a lot of people where some of the variants I had were much, much better than this. It's OG counterpart, the one that really kind of put these guys in the map. And sure, I'm not sitting here drinking side by side and talking about those beers with this one, but just knee-jerk reaction, I think I like this one better than the other ones. This does something for me. There's something about it. There's something... I'm never going to sit here and talk about a hazy IPA being clean, But as far as clean as you can make it hazy, that's kind of how this is coming off. It's a really well done beer. It's really easy to drink. There's no kind of heft to it, no kind of density in a negative way. I think it's delicious. I think it's tasty, and I think it's one of the better, sub 7% hazies I have had in quite some time. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better ones? Absolutely, without a doubt. I just said that. I like how it leans on the citrus. I like how it gives me some of that sweetness. It backs it up with some dryness and some bitterness. Value and availability. I forget what their crowlers cost up there, but I don't think they're all too terribly bad. Brewery only, unless you find it on draft. And leave you with, if you like what we like this beer, if you like new school hazies, but you don't want anything that's just kind of a challenge to drink. There's so many beers that are just trying to be too much. This is a bundle. Gives you a lot to process, but at the same time is really drinkable, really tasty, and just really damn well done. So there you go. Another review in the books. Thank you very much for it, Joseph. Like I said, go check out the Beer Patrol on his channel, The Beer Patrol. He is, like I said, one of my favorite beer reviewers, and if you're up in New York, especially Western New York, where he has done a ton of beers up there. So go check him out. If you want to check me out in other avenues, massivebeers@gmail.com. If you want to get in contact with me, Massive Beers all across the internet. If you want to check out the social media stuff, Beer Massive. If you want to check me out doing a podcasting thing, hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice little crowler of some jus right now, and hope to see you next time. Cheers.